There's a guy that made a comment, and he said that you have that you should stay short the euro, dollar, and the pound until it hits the June lows. And at least it's going there, at least. And I have to say, um, when do you think that's going to happen? Sure, by Christmas, maybe. I'm going to have to give it about till April of next year because this is the weekly chart here. You're asking this market to come all the way back to here. Wow, that's going to take some time. I just bought on the 15 on the open. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes market's been open. Buying right here. I'm trying to make 100 pips. I'm going to make it back to the floor on the weeklies, which is right here. It's pretty obvious that if we come back to here, or at least last week's breakout, I'm going to forget about that one because it really doesn't exist anymore. We've already cleared out that price. It's how we end up in the next. Coming back to the wick breakout point of the weekly. So anybody that went short here and their target is the June lows, which is just psychotic. The June lows, once again, thanks for the buy signal. No offense. At least short term. So I'm a short term trader. I mean, here would be my ultimate target. Here's my target that is going to be first target, the 100-yard line. We're trapped below. It's an auction market. Look at the dailies. Actually getting RSI divergence right here on the close of Friday. These are the floors that we fell through. Looking to make it back there. Eventually back to here, and then let's see. Then I'm out. Then I come back in with limits on the sell side, buy side. It just depends how far we've moved. Like to come back to here, if this is the daily chart, and it is, we got a lot of zigzagging to do. Take this back to imagine getting there. How are we going to get there? And people do these kind of things, I'm sure. They spell out every zigzag on the way to that target. Incredibly, right? So it's like this. We suspect the dream of the bears come back to here. Sellers come in to here. Now there's going to be a little problem here because this is the doji. This is where everything all started, and this can be a huge deal. And if we do take it to there, it's going to be like this. Bing, bing, bing. There'll be a big problem there. Bing, bing, bing. We could be trapped in this range. So you kill yourself, and I just don't even know what people are thinking. Even if you make it to here, you think there's not buyers galore at this level, and they could rip it to here, and then you could just be trapped in some. I'm sure everybody had a clean idea how this was going to turn out. 200 pip. This is 100 pips from here to here. These are 25 pip handles. Some guys sent me a, hey, what about this Stacy Berg trading? I couldn't even hardly watch it. When he got into the 15-minute chart, he didn't call out one trade, one entry, and it just boggles my mind. And he has this 12-bar rule on the 15. Dude, these specific rules are bullshit. How can you build a trade plan on that? And what it is about how many pips a market can move. This is the daily chart on the euro dollar. If I put up the pound, it's moved like 4 times as much during this phase of this top, or whatever you want to call this ranging. That's a big deal. This accumulation phase, if you put a trend line on this would be you got to think in pips. It's like a 200 pip trend line, 200 pip triangle. You break out, you pull back, and there's that beautiful little so-called stop hunt, which is another just okay. So the Stacy trading, and the narrative is that look, they trapped this guy. He went and put a buy stop here. I notice they don't talk about the entries. They just talk about the stop hunt. This is a big fallacy because on the 1 hour stop hunt is invisible to the daily stop hunt. It's so time frame specific that how can people even talk like this? They're just throwing around buzzwords like these dumb shit politicians that are just letting the ball go. Hey, you know what? We'll pick it up. Got you there. People are armed to the teeth now. There's nothing going to happen. Listen, people are still out of their fucking minds. Doesn't matter what you do for them. They are who they are. And the markets will always be wild and crazy and people won't get it. And Jesus Christ, just when I started to get my trend system, the market went sideways and I've gotten chopped to bits here getting false signals. But it's okay. I'm going to stick with the program. I paid for it. My mentor says just keep on doing more drugs. You'll be fine. Yeah, how about they have these hugging things where you get together and you hire somebody to just spoon with you or something. How about the how to trade like a drunk? People got to get something new going on. Obviously, it's not working. All the diet books, people are dying of heart disease. Those diet books. But maybe reading it's not enough. Huh? So yeah, it's all going to be that. I saw Suli got his this samurai trader Suli. He's trading in this prop firm thing, and he's killing it because he can handle the fucking punishment. I'll use soft. It's got to be I've got a optimal trade entry. Are you kidding me? ICT. Some guy just made a comment on an old ICT where I ripped ICT apart. And he had this thing that he tore down. He had this prediction that Bitcoin was going to zero or it was going to $10. And that was before the Corona crash to 4,000. But he said that ICT is the GOAT. And I'm like, that is some religious term? I don't know, man. You start starting to go like into shrunken heads and stuff. I had to bail. It's like too much. But yeah, these kind of like lofty targets down here, mind blowing. I mean, really, how long are you planning on living? Is it you waiting to get in here, or are you short? So I asked him, "Are you short?" Can you imagine? At least go short if there's a rally into London tonight, or go short right now. And then the next question is, if you really believe that's the target, at least to say at least says, oh. Like I talked to somebody I know said, well, Trump killed all these people. If he wouldn't have withheld, since he was afraid to create a panic, he waited a month to tell people how bad it was, and nobody would have died. And I'm like, you've never traded Forex. You've never lived in the real world. Over-the-counter prices. You know what you're talking about, man. I'm not going to argue with you, but you just go along there in your little fucking bubble of distortion and you just live your life, but don't live it near me, man. You know, this is why you want to build down, not up. Underground homes, so not to say that I saw this coming, but I've always felt under attack, so I was going to build an underground home years ago with my starter wife. And so I said, look at this underground thing, plans to build underground. It makes all the sense in the fucking world. Look at low maintenance. Would you cut your fucking lawn, your roof? You find a hillside, you dig in. But no, these fuckers got to have their colonial bullshit. British homes all paraded out here with fake shutters. Look at our house. What do you think, you're in a fucking movie? Just get the fuck in the bunker. This shit's been coming for years, man. What the fuck is wrong with people? Anyways, but I feel that way about these markets, to hear people say when no nonsense how to trade a bear market, I thought, thanks for the buy signal. Jesus Christ, when a goober steps out, no offense to Herman, I'm sure he's a genius, but we're all geniuses, right? Until we realize how we're greedy and we have targets that are fucking ridiculous. And there's other people trading around your target. You have a target that's 3 years out. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to take that and weaponize the price, like Corona. So the people say the markets are manipulated. Yeah, right, by people. Manipulated. People are trading the markets. It's going up and down. It's bothering you because you're on the wrong side or you're underwater and you're like, gosh, we just got to like flat. We just got the flat. We just got the flat. And that's why the algos take out or people take themselves out when it gets back to even. So when you see a hammer, if you see a weekly hammer, yeah, somebody probably got burned selling into that and somebody made money selling back or buying the wick and getting out at the head. From open to close, they bought all the way down, they got all the way up, they got out. There is that one single trade. Or they put in an order at the exact wick tip. Not even possible. Sorry, I mean, you might nail that on a 1 minute chart and tell me all day long how right here. Okay, then you must have traded so fucking big on that because it's such a sweet setup. And the thing this Stacy Burke's talking about setups, this is all harebrained shit. I'm sorry, I've seen it a million times. Can't hardly watch this shit anymore. Well, here's a setup, and all the people in the comments. You got to read the comments on the Stacy Burke. You fucking lose your mind. Oh, dude, this is amazing. You're amazing. For what? You're not even trading. You're analyzing the market and going, well, this is the week, and then he writes out that we got a 3-day plan. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? How much is this costing me? And, you know, most people that have enough money to blow on ICT and all that stuff, and all the stuff that I bought, you've got a day job. You're like, man, you know, maybe one day I could just trade professionally, either prop firm or something. I got to get out of this stupid-ass job I'm in. But if you go into a prop firm, in a way it's a stupid-ass job. It's just a different kind of stupid-ass job. So you either like working or you don't. And that's first case to get something that, from all the stuff I've studied, is called you have to be congruent with what you're doing. And the markets are chaotic, so there's incongruency there because there is no guaranteed. The more you learn doesn't make you, the more precision you have in your entry doesn't get around the problem of every moment's unique. And if it was repeating, the robots would sniff that out and they go, we built the Holy Grail because look at, yeah, it repeats, but the problem is the pip range changes. And the duration of the move is what's upsetting people. When the market drops for 3 fucking days, 300 pips, people are like, fucking whoa. Now, if you can step in and buy with a wide stop and take it and start to, it's like a fish. You're going to catch a big fish. You got to give it some line. You might lose your line and have to come back in. I don't know why people think that they're going to nail it. Because, and not to say that, and of course, you know, the ICTs, and I was reading, I got to read it someday out loud because I went to Forex Peace Army and ICT reviews because I typed into Google, how much does an ITC mentorship cost? I think it's like $150 or $150 a month. And the people that, you can see the fake reviews that are like, oh my God, your mom write that? And then the one that says, oh, this guy just should, how does he even live? How does he get to sleep at night? And the part of the puzzle, yeah, the part of the puzzle thing creeps in. And the one guy said, yeah, the order block thing. So you can come up with your own. This is why ICT is really Scientology, because you have to go back to OT level 5 if you don't comply with not talking about ICT. The inner circle, if the outer circle finds out about the inner circle. But I get the whole, man, this guy's the answer. I mean, I know there's less membership in Scientology, but I was a Scientologist for like a month. And it was, the girl was cute that worked there, so I thought, what the fuck, we'll go along with that. I don't think it would brainwash me, but I could see they were using brainwashing techniques, but I found it to be fascinating. And so I stuck around. And then I thought, they kind of creeped me out and they started asking me, well, do you have any money? And I said, well, I don't know. Do you? Like, are we on a date now? Or is it kind of awkward? We're going to go Dutch. So, but I can see how people want to belong and they do want to join the no nonsense gang. And of course, when I was in, they kicked me out because I asked two abrupt questions like, I started to ask questions. The guy inside there said that this is for trade calls only. And I said something that was like about one milli-inch off of topic. And you're out of here. So it's too bad because people don't, you know, I don't know what it is with these traders, man. I guess there's more money made, let's face it, for the guy that can't trade but he has a good puzzle to sell you. I mean, he's gonna make money, and he doesn't really have to trade in a sense. And as long as you have a good atmosphere. And this other one that somebody asked me to watch, I tuned it in, and it was so slick. I can't remember his name now. And he had the most intense graphics, and he had the level 3, level 2, and he's getting his ass kicked as the British pound dropped. And he had this static dumb shit rule that just pisses me off. Well, if we're down 2% in the first hour we get out, we don't trade anymore for the day. What? So you broke a string on your guitar, we're going to shut down the whole session? You can't play his guitar? Well, I just don't do that. See, you don't understand. When I play guitar, I have to play my guitar. Then you're not a guitarist. I'm so sorry. You're not a musician. You're a guitarist. So you're a sniper. Another thing is Stacy Burke. I'm a sniper. Well, these snipers. Dude, I'm not a sniper. How about this? I'm trying to kill people. You know what I did? I put limit orders. You know what I call limit orders? Those are my claymore mines. I just lay shit out there, dude. You want to walk over it? Go ahead. And I got more than one mine. And I hit a button and I clicked and I laid a track of mines in there. No, you're going to sit there and wait for the 12-bar setup on the 15-minute chart below the auction floor. He did say auction in there. I notice people throw these words out. Who's trading this shit? Where's the guy nailing that trade? Even on a demo account. I don't know. Maybe they are. I knew we were in trouble when I saw Stacy Burke go to the kind of the Wyckoff-ish accumulation, distribution, accumulation, and distribution is 80% of the market, and the markup markdowns are 20% of the price pulse move. This is a big dramatic move that you see here on the chart, right? Big down. Now you might get a measured move here. This might be comes down, but we're in this giant vacuum now. And you'd say, well, look they just trapped all these bulls at the top. All the algos were screaming buy, and everybody bought that, all that choppy distribution on the top there in the daily. This is the model you can see this every day, happens every day. Yeah, but this is the daily. Now you got to wait 5 days to get paid on this trade. If you went long here, which I did, I would trade this 5-day trend. 5-day trend on the 4-hour charts. Up, 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 I can't buy. Pull back on the 4-hour ad maybe. Or, and I've said this a million times, am I in so big that just scalp out, come back, go trade another currency? And this pip grid thing, I'm going to do a 100 pip grid. So if you're trading the weeklies, maybe running a 100 pip grid because you're looking to run 200 pip stops. And I would say instead of hunting for, this is going to be so simple if you're in the indicators. The 100 pip grid is an indicator. It's an indication of volatility. Visually, price over time. If you take a 100 pip grid and you run 23 pairs like no nonsense, if you're from the no nonsense Scientology division, then what you're going to do there is, in my opinion, is hunt. You're a pip hunter. You're looking to make pips. If you bring up the 100 pip grid and you put out New Zealand dollar on the 4-hour chart and you're like, this is ridiculous. This target is so far away. It's not even realistic. This target this guy has down here, the June lows, You're kidding, right? On the dailies, look at that. Really? You're really going to sell here? If you're going to sell, you got to sell where I'm going to get out of my buy. Everybody should agree on what's going on. But the only thing people don't agree is, what's the timeline for that target? Should I sell on a rally? So, if you say that you're bearish, that's not saying, is that saying that you're actually short right now? Or you're going to get short on every rally? If you're going to get short on every rally, you probably got a better chance, but then the whole thing, the whole premise of the whole structure is built on, are you in 5 standard lots short right now in the euro dollar with $1 million account? Or are you short 5 standard lots with $2,000 in there? Because if you're like in that situation without a stop, it only has to go for the so-called stop hunt or the account hunt, because you're in so big. I mean, people would move their stop, and this is what, if you trade with the scripts and you don't move the stop, you're planning your trade, your trading plan. In other words, each trade you put on has its own risk ratio. But since I'm trading 1Ks, I could put 160K in the market and know that it's not a hard stop. I'm probably going to make some money. I'm not looking at this as some type of, although I could on the, in other words, I could fantasy trade it like anybody else. Right here, I'm going to buy 40 standard lots right here, and I say we go up 100 pips. Right now, boom. And sit back. I'm not going to enjoy the fact that it's fluctuating 30 grand every 4 hours on the equity. It's just not worth it. And it's just I'm not how many times could you have made 10 grand over the next, in that size position? You could have made 10 grand. People say, well, I don't want to get in and out of the market. It's too much work. It took me forever to fucking get the idea to get in here. You know how long? Everything queued up. I had my C1 confirmation from No Nonsense. I had my order blocks from ICT. This is nonsense. You can't think like that. I really know when I see the reaction, the face masks and all this shit and all the compliance, I go, I get it. This is why people would never make money trading in Forex or the markets typically. Because it's worse than Corona. It's basically like masks on for 4 hours, mask off, and then a different kind of mask in another 10 hours, and what, you're not keeping up? I mean, if people have a hard time here, they all blew up their account, they all put on their mask, or they all locked down, and they all just, what the fuck? I didn't lock down. Come get me. Come and get me. I ain't wearing a mask either. But that's me. Because to me, it just looks like a dumb shit trade somebody pulled a trigger on while I'm in the account called the United States. Like, I woke up in this trade. And really? But I'm not anything to the loser. I'm used to the punishment. I'm used to thinking, I think I figured out that, this is supposedly a constitutional republic. It is? But I got a what? And you're saying what? So I went to the beer store last night, and they had this sign that said, if you have a medical condition, you're good. Come on in. And I thought, finally, what the fuck is wrong with people? Let me sign a waiver. Otherwise, guess what? Bye-bye. I'm going to Amazon. And this is the thing. This is the big shift and it's actually kind of a necessary burning of people's fragile lifestyles. And I know that this dumb shit that wrote I call him a dumb shit now because he wrote the Black Swan. He goes, this isn't a Black Swan. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Dude, when I broke my fingernail, it was a Black Swan for my finger. So, fuck you. And Black Swan shit. There's a flaw in everything everybody says, of course. And the thing is, I know this utopian view of the markets and optimal trade entry. Man, did you say optimal? Because I don't like a shitty trade entry. You know me. We're kind of like that. Our family, We don't like to risk nothing unless we got to. Okay, so I bought one at the market on the 15, and I have pendings below. I forgot to say I have buy limits below me. I only trade every 15 minutes on 1, 2, maybe 3K. If I'm going to build a position, also, if you're going to do the Wyckoff method, and you can handle building a position, I mean, selling every rally at the tippy top here in this 100 pip window, and there's a lot of scalps in there. Also, I'm going to take profits on this. If I was selling this daily thing, I think I mentioned in the last video the no-nonsense traders that are into the confirmation world, maybe they should go against that. Like the way no-nonsense says, well, you know, it turned out the opposite way. Yeah, really? You think it turned out to be the opposite? Well, we'll just trade like that then. What are you kidding me? So I'm buying this tonight. I got buy limits down here all the way into this week. I don't think we're going down the tubes. And I'll be cashing out every 25 pips up into this. And then I'm going to put buy limits down here. And I'm going to capture that. And I'm managing the size until here. After that, once again, every 4 hours, every 2 hours, imagine baskets of buy limits that expire in 3 hours sitting beneath you from 20 to 30 pips, and maybe they don't fill, maybe they do. If they do, it means the market's sold off quickly. So you're creating your own auctions out in space. If this order bank down here to buy lasted for, if this lasted for, say, and I do have these 8 hours, right? Would you put a buy limit down here right now? Don't forget, this guy says we're going to a place that is so down here to the south of us that you would just not believe it. It's down here. Unbelievable. Mind-blowing target. Just staggering. This is the daily. And you just have to ask these common sense questions. What's it ride look like down there? It can't be this. What we know what it can't be. This rate of change. If that's true, then you just keep coming in with limits here and plucking off, but you're claiming no rally here. So yes, this kind of all or nothing, you can't. You just can't, man. This is the closing floor. This will be the very first target, and I am taking that target too. So expect the gush to here, come back with limits, and if we go down here, I'm buying so much you can't believe, and my target is going to be here. So I'm range trading it at an angle. I mean, the range trading goes on forever. Sure, you can say this is a trend, but look at all the money the range traders made, and I guess you kind of have to call these trends, honestly. So fractally speaking, the accumulation phase here, Wyckoff is here, but here's the big distribution phase, accumulation. So auctions within auctions. That's why that's part of the puzzle. But distribution, markdown. Markdown captured under the floor here now. Right? Unfair value. Come back. Get out. Or hold it. But you got to start getting out on these lows. And look at this big vault, this big hole just before this, because this was the big, and yeah. You're going to want to, if you really think we're going down to that price and you're short right now, I would definitely get out here, because this will be the biggest controversial place, and I would definitely buy back here. It's a two-way street. I mean, there's buyers for sellers. You should be able to see the other guy's trade. The guy that just bought where you sold, you're like, am I late to the party? We only went down for how many days there? And you're going to start selling there? Okay, so I don't think that's a good trade. But I could be wrong. And of course, they'll 3 weeks from now there'll be another trade. And wait till the elections comes out. I don't. When the elections bees are coming out, I would say do not even think about trading this stuff because even if it looks good on the chart in hindsight, understand that the spreads could be at 150 pips for moments on there, or it's going to be a very quiet session because if they say stuff like, and it could be brutal for, actually the volatility could get so hysterical because think about if on the night of the election they go, well, if it's not a landslide right off the bat and the electoral college isn't totally crushed and it doesn't matter if there's any other votes coming in, it's just going to be like you couldn't even touch it. And that would mean that all of the mail-in votes would be Democrat. Trump's obviously going to win by a landslide. And this stuff is so painfully obvious. And I like how people want to cover themselves so somebody not making fun of them later. But, oh, well, it's really kind of crazy. It's kind of up in the air. If it is up in the air and Trump doesn't win, that's why there's no toilet paper on the shelves. And that's why most of these people should not be trading Forex. Because they can't handle risk and they can't even think. It's just sad. It's fucking sad. So, but the people I know are like, it's a joke. It's just turned into a show. You know, the news is not the news. It's not information. It's not data. It's not data. Look at the data. And so Florida opened up. So it's over. And it's kind of funny. They definitely stretched out as far as they could and started arresting people for not wearing a mask. That's like the last of the. That's when people basically turn away, and it's Atlas Shrugged. They just go, you know what, we're done. And the gulch is Bitcoin, right? Financially, and you're done. We're not going to watch that story. I don't watch that show anymore. And all the enthusiasm for all the bears here. Are we going to drip down some more tonight? So I'll buy the drip. I'm waiting for really Asia to open here. And currently long. Waiting to get longer. Euro dollar. Fell into the hole. About 100 pip crush into here. No traders coming in. 4-hour chart. Want to go short? You really can't see the trade there. So another thing is the way you frame this matters. I think this is my favorite framing. Is the bars kind of thick? I can only see back about 3 months. Also, it's the end of the month. Don't forget, people. This month's coming to an end. The weekly charts? You want to go short? 1 week down hard. Don't forget ICT's 1 week down hard rule. RSI is out of control. RSI is so low, you blow your mind. You want to go short here? Here's your target. I just, incredible. He must be kidding. He must be trolling me, this Herman Trades guy. Here's your target. Okay. And the argument is, well, look at these moves. That's Corona. Corona's over. My target's here. Short-term target, 100 pips. Right? $1,000 standard lot. But multiple lots, and you can just, with the flexibility of 1Ks, you can just trade all around this thing and just, If anything, don't forget this top, okay? This top is more important. We cleared that top. That's the oldest top. You got to get past that before you hit this top. That's another obstacle. Structurally. 100 pips down. And by the time it gets down there, I'm buying so much, and then I'm going to ride it to. Well, so as you get into these, it comes down to here. Well, then now the target can actually be above here by this weekly chart by the end of the middle of next year as your target. I'm not going to be in the trade that long. All I need to know is that when it came below here on the weekly close, you bought there. What if you held till here? Now that did take half a year. Incredible. Corona to here, look at that. And these idiots locked all this shit down for all these weeks. What a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay. Anyways, there you go, euro dollar.